Hey guys, it's Go Do Your Own Research. I hope everyone's doing really good. So, sorry about the outfit. It's one of those days. We have another update about Alexa Nikolas, and it literally happened as I was doing my last live stream. So, here we are again. But I think it's only fair that I go through this update on the settlement of the lawsuit she had where she was suing a journalist, formerly of NBC, now freelance, by the name of Tenbarge. So this story broke like 22 hours ago, roughly. And it's actually in the Hollywood Reporter. But first, I just wanted to show some of the different posts over on Reddit. Good evening, Janessa. What's up now? Is it about Alexa Nikolas again? You hope she'll be out of the internet and stop ruining everybody's lives for this. I know, but unfortunately, she's this result with Tenbarge, she's really acting like a bully. Her and Ethan Klein are literally trying to shut down anyone who doesn't agree with them. It's really insane. That's the reason why I'm speaking out about this. I'm making a video. Even today, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, is this really worth it? Because these people are crazy. Like, I could get a warning at any time, but you know, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. So I'm just going to read through the apology. I'm going to give you some more context about this lawyer that she uses and Ethan Klein uses, called Ron Barnism, because it turns out his partner at the law firm is a wanted criminal. I'm not even joking. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And we're also going to be showing about some of the other bits and pieces of bullying she's been trying to do, in case anyone missed it. Because last time I was talking about a subreddit called Celeb Legal Drama, and I actually meant a different one. I meant it's called It Ends with Courts, yeah? Someone needs to go and tell them that they need to update their facts on Alexa Nikolas and what she actually is doing, and maybe delete their post. Okay, so this was the Hollywood Reporter article that came out June 28th. And it says, Zoe 101 alum, Alexa Nikolas settles defamation suit against former NBC News reporter Tenbarge. I don't even think she was on Zoe 101 for the duration of the entire production. I think it was like 1 or 2 years. She didn't get invited to the reunion. She was pretty salty about it. That's actually how she got popular again, ironically. So Zoe 101 alum Alexa Nikolas says she settled her defamation suit against former NBC News reporter Tenbarge, who has posted a lengthy apology on social media. Right, so that's what NBC has, Hollywood Reporter has posted. I don't even rate Hollywood Reporter, so let me go back to the Reddit. The Reddit, because it's going to be a lot about the Reddit tonight. That's where these people hang out. They all have their own subreddits, so they can patrol what people are saying. Right, so H3H3 Productions. This is Ethan Klein's own Reddit page, yeah? H3H3 Productions is the home of the H3 podcast on Reddit. This subreddit is for fans of the show. And it says, Update 2, Alexa Nikolas, friend of the show, versus Tenbarge. Somebody already posted that Tenbarge settled with Alexa, but there's more to it. Tenbarge made an apology thread on X, and oh boy, she admits to everything. We already knew she used unethical journalistic tactics and even enabled a restrained stalker. Alexa's complaint makes clear that she also coordinated a smear campaign against Alexa because she couldn't just say she was wrong and admit the failure of proper research. Sorry, are you talking about yourself there, Alexa? In my opinion, she knew exactly that she lied. But using Adam McIntyre and others to do the dirty work for her is unbelievable. Fingers crossed for the punitive damages and attorney fees Alexa demanded. Really? This is a win, as it shows that freelance journalists can't get away with everything. Unlike you guys over at H3. I hope this is closure for Alexa. No, it probably isn't closure for Alexa, because you wait till I show you the amount of other people that say exactly the same things as Kat, and they're not being sued. So I just want to quickly show this tweet that Alexa Nikolas posted, which was on the 28th of June, 2025. And she said, Ron Bar-Nissim, aka Ethan's lawyer, is my lawyer too. Been my lawyer for years. He's an ethical and incredible lawyer. The people he is naming as defendants in this lawsuit are IMO malicious trolls. This lawsuit is not without merit. The facts are clear and recorded. So this was in June last year. I can't believe it was a whole year ago. I actually have the docket right here. This was the docket, and for me, it only went up to March 10, 2026, and then it was transferred over to New Jersey. Yeah, so I couldn't really see what was going on until this settlement announcement came up. But let's go back to Ron Bar-Nissim, yeah? Ron Bar-Nissim has a law firm. He has a partnership, yeah? Called Here Bar-Nissim. That's his partner. Tiffany here. Well, would you looky at this? Ron Bar-Nissim's business partner is a wanted individual in Malaysia. This is an official picture. I have another one here from a Malaysian from a Malaysian news publication. It's in Malaysian, I think, or something, so I don't. But that's her wanted picture, yeah? And this is another article that says, so she goes by Tiffany here, or what was it? Here Lee Yu is her Malaysian name. So before she came to California and partnered with Ron Bar-Nissim, she was working in Malaysia for 4 years prior to establishing her firm. Tiffany Here Lee Yu worked at a boutique international transaction and tax law firm in Los Angeles. Previously, she worked as a corporate attorney in Malaysia for 8 years. Almost 3 years was spent at Baker and McKenzie, at a Baker and McKenzie affiliate. These are just some other screenshots. So it was to do with this case of this guy, J Ho Lo. That's him. Oops. What did I do? Yeah. And this article is on IMDb. So this was an IMDb-related corruption scandal in Malaysia. So it says a documentary looking into the IMDb corruption scandal, which saw in excess of $4.5 billion allegedly stolen from a Malaysian sovereign wealth fund and used to finance vast global shopping sprees, including a major foray into Hollywood, has been threatened by one of its main subjects. Lawyers working on behalf of J Ho Low claimed by the Department of Justice to be one of the central figures behind the conspiracy and now a fugitive wanted by US, Malaysian, and Singaporean authorities. Sent letters to a number of distributors and platforms carrying the... So this is an article from... I guess it was recently. But this happened a long time ago. Anyway, let me go back to this post because I'm going to show you everything about it. Because I actually remember this story because Britney Spears and Kim Kardashian were involved. Like, he was paying celebrities, Justin Bieber as well. He was paying these celebrities to hang out with him, and I think there was actually rumors that he was Kim Kardashian was dating him. That's how crazy it was. But yeah, so it says here, why is J Ho Low's one IMDb accomplice Tiffany Hia operating as a tax attorney in LA? Tiffany joined J Ho Low at their initial crucial meeting with Petro Saudi's Patrick Mahoney in New York, at which Mahoney agreed that the firm could act as a front for their business activities. Okay, these are the screenshots. Rom's business partner, Hea Li Yu, allegedly perpetrated one of the largest corruption scandals of our lifetime, known as it's the 1MDB scandal. Sorry, I thought it was the IMDb. I was getting confused. Since April 30th, 2025, Hea Li Yu, alias Tiffany, is on the wanted individual list by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. Here is proof that it is the same person. It is 100% the same person. Like, you just have to Google it and it will come up. Sarawak report is famous for its coverage on the IMDb scandal. Sorry, 1MDB scandal. They are reputable on that topic. On June 10th, 2018, Sarawak report posted on Facebook, IMDb accomplice Tiffany Hia operating as a tax attorney in LA. Their post links to tiffaneyslawfirm.com, which redirects to hiabarnissim.com. That was the website I just showed you. Now go to the archive.org of tiffaneyslawfirm.com. In 2016, there is a photo. It is the same exact photo as the wanted individual. Literally the same photo, same outfit and everything. Yeah? So then, if we come to the present day, okay, so that was from 2019, that article about the documentary. But I found this article from April 2026, which says, has the 1MDB scandal hooked another professional enabler in the law firm White & Case? As reported in London's Sunday Observer, it is now confirmed that the $1.83 billion legal suit initiated by 1MDB against the major transatlantic law firm White & Case, which acted for Petro Saudi in the fraudulent joint venture that cost Malaysian taxpayers billions of ringgit, has sparked both regulatory and criminal investigations in the UK. And I was like, not the UK, not people using criminally obtained money in the UK. Surely not. Following revelations last week that the UK Solicitors Regulatory Authority is examining the actions of White & Case's London office, the Chief Commissioner of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, Azam Baki, released a statement confirming UK authorities have been engaged in a criminal investigation launched by the MACC into the firm following a mutual legal assistance request. Okay, so that's how big this thing is. And she's over there in California, and there's literally wanted signs up on the internet about her. And that's Alexa Nikolas's law firm. They had to use that. That's who they had to use to sue Cat Tenbarge. Okay, so let me go back to Reddit. All right, so that was the H3H3 production. So they posted that 2 days ago. So then 21 hours ago, FOMOA posted it on their page. So they said, Zoe 101 Alum, Alexa Nikolas settles defamation suit against former NBC News reporter Cat Tenbarge. Tenbarge issued a lengthy apology on social media amid the settlement. So there's a link to the Hollywood Reporter, article. So let's read what she wrote on X. I didn't even know she had X. I thought she deleted it. Oh, hey, Shift. Be careful. Don't want to get sued for defamation. Yes. Am I allowed to say? Well, you can say it. I won't say anything. Okay, so this is what Cat Tenbarge said. Alexa Nikolas is an activist and actress known for her role in the Nickelodeon series Zoe 101 and her appearance in the documentary series Quiet on Set. She's turned the comments off, by the way. So she said, on March 9th, 2024, days before Quiet on Set aired, series producer and Business Insider journalist Kate Taylor sent Nikolas a number of redacted Ohio court and police records concerning her fellow documentary participant Drake Bell. Taylor obtained these documents via a records request. The documents were not obtained from Bell or his attorneys. Then we have, over a month later, Nikolas shared these documents with me as part of her response to a series of questions I sent her for a proposed article which was never published. In response to those questions, Nikolas provided me with the redacted Ohio court and police records concerning Mr. Bell. Eventually, in September 2024, I responded to posts and a live stream Nikolas made on X and YouTube about me and this proposed article with a series of comments of my own. An Australian talking about American defamation law. Who's Australian? You speak way too slow, can't even watch for 2 minutes. Well, fine, click off then. Sorry. I'm not Australian, by the way. I don't know where you got that from. I speak slowly so people can understand what I'm saying, if that's okay with you. Right, in these comments, I erroneously stated that the Bell documents Nikolas shared with me were sealed records and released personal identifying information on the victims. However, these documents are not sealed and did not contain personal identifying information on the victim. There's been a lot of speculation about this. However, there is a lot of, there's quite a few videos still on YouTube where people have reacted to the actual live stream showing screenshots of the live chat. So you could still go and watch them if you wanted to. They are public records and all personal identifying information was redacted. I regret this error and am committed to exercising greater caution in the future. Since making these comments online, I have learned the true nature of these documents and how Nikolas obtained them. I understand that my comments caused Nikola's distress and may have impacted her reputation. I also understand that my comments were included in videos created by third parties, including my friend Adam McIntyre and Okie Dokie. I do not stand by these comments or any third-party content, relying on these comments as evidence of Nikolas sending me sealed documents. Any videos restating the claims in these comments should be removed. I don't think they have been. Also, there was another video. I actually watched a completely different channel about this. It was a guy, and he doesn't even make videos anymore. But I think his name is oh gosh. He's got like round glasses. It will come to me. As part of her activism, Alexa started a group called Eat Predators. In my reporting process, I asked Alexa questions about conflicts regarding this group. I now understand that Alexa was solely responsible for the creation of Eat Predators and that she did not co-opt other members' ideas. She did not represent the group solely as an ambassador, but rather led the group. People voluntarily joined Eat Predators, and some members later left the group for various reasons. Some people left because they wanted to monetize Eat Predators or otherwise gain something to the detriment of Eat Predators. Conflicts that broke out afterwards were not started by Alexa, but rather by other individuals. Notably, there was never any evidence Alexa defrauded members of Eat Predators, including through the group's Patreon account. In the process of learning about these conflicts, I encountered information posted by accounts on X called Exposing Rich and Abuse of Power. Isn't there one called something the Crow? Crow Grift. What about this one? Oops, all crows. Crow Grift. It was in July 25. Where was I? Okay, last page. These accounts made various false, unsubstantiated, and unverified comments about Alexa and Elite Predators. I think that's what most accounts on Twitter do, though. They were clearly biased against Alexa. I did not independently verify or vet their claims. The guy with the round glasses, it was on YouTube. Edwin was it Edwin? Edwin Online? Yeah, his name's Edwin. That's it. Don't worry. Don't worry. The fans. Or abuse of engaged in behavior like cyber harassment, cyber stalking, and non-consensual intimate image sharing. I expressly denounce such content. I regret any interactions I had with these accounts or any misplaced trust in content they posted or otherwise engaged with. To rely on or engage with these accounts causes real-world harm. I can't believe I'm reading this. And for that, I apologize too. I feel like we're at school. I will exercise greater judgment with regards to engaging with and trusting anonymous accounts. Alexa has taken out a renewed restraining order against an individual she's accused of stalking on behalf of herself and her. Maybe that could be. Wasn't it Ron Barnism that she used out a restraining order against someone with before? Ron Barnism, who's in business partnership with a wanted alleged criminal. Okay, so let's look at some of the comments on this post. Serious question, why post the apology as 20 individual tweets instead of a screenshot picture of a letter attached to one tweet? A skeptic might say that is because the terms of the settlement specify that she has to pin her apology to her profile for a certain amount of time. This way, she pins it as a thread and anyone visiting her profile sees tweet I, which contains zero apology, no drama, tweet one, and appears so utterly mundane, most people will simply ignore it. For greater compatibility with screen readers, I know Blue Sky allows all text with images, but I don't know if they have a character limit for alt text. If it does, it would have been best practice to write out the text in post anyway. People are so picky on Reddit. Oh, we've had a couple of comments removed. The article says it's unclear if the public apology is part of the settlement, but to me, this apology is very thorough and very sanitized. Feels a little like they're. I agree. It sounds very coerced, in my opinion, because it doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't see how looking at what people are saying about her on Twitter causing world harm. If that's the case, then all of Ethan Klein's content is causing world harm. All of my content is causing world harm. I mean, the whole of Twitter is causing world harm, is causing serious world harm. Are we just going to ignore that? We're not allowed to put one on Twitter. I'm sick. In the parts where Kat apologizes for asking questions about Alexa's stalker, I can understand why Alexa may refuse. But as a journalist, I feel like Kat should be able to ask questions. I feel this situation more. Well, we've done videos about it. We did an interview with her alleged stalker. My fellow YouTuber is up here. These are some of the other. If you put Alexa Nikolas' name into Reddit, this is what comes up. So yeah, on the BS pod, there's a video about whether analysing the claims of Alexa's having a stalker, basically. Oops, I'm going to go on to that. Okay. Let me go back to the comments. All I'm trying to say is other opinions are allowed. This is not a smear campaign. It's just really, really not. Important to note that Alexa and Ethan Klein share the same lawyer. Well, yeah, she literally tweeted about it. She's appeared on his show numerous times and has also attacked his enemies publicly. He has forced at least one of his victims to apologize to him in his settlement. So yeah, a few months ago, around Christmas time, I had reacted to a video by another content creator, a guy. He's actually not even a content creator. He's an actual filmmaker. He actually makes proper film videos, documentaries with a real camera. And what's his name again? Sorry, I'm so bad at names. It's on my YouTube channel anyway, but he made a video about women. I think it was 4 women for copyright infringement because they used some of his content and live streamed it and did a reaction, basically, which is what Ethan Klein's whole channel is. So one of the girls, Casey Tron, I think it was Casey Tron, Denims, I forget the other 2, but Casey Tron had to come out and do this apology in December. Yeah, so it was probably around the same time that guy made that video. So this is what she said.
And by stating I take responsibility for infringing the content nuke. I want to begin by stating I take responsibility for infringing the content nuke. The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins. This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've learned throughout this process going forward. I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful.
So to cut a long story short, I didn't realize it had the background music, actually. I wonder if there's a version that doesn't. Ethan Klein is kind of obsessed with Hassan Piker. And yeah, it's almost like he used that lawsuit to kind of like goad a reaction out of Hassan Piker, which I don't think that really happened. Oops.
I want to begin by stating I take responsibility.
Okay. Maybe this one is better. I hope these people aren't going to do me
for infringing the content nuke. The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins.
That's crazy. Ethan Klein he's literally the definition of misogynist. He talks openly about rape culture and makes jokes about it. I mean, I haven't really watched too much of his content. I actually cannot stand him. But the little bits that I have seen, that is what he talks about. He makes really disgusting jokes as well about his sister-in-law. So his sister-in-law is a huge female content creator called Trisha Paytas, who I'm definitely not a fan of. But I saw a clip someone showed earlier where Ethan Klein was saying that he wanted to support the teacher that Trisha Paytas had alleged had essayed her at school. That is the kind of stuff that comes out of his mouth. But she's not allowed to say he's misogynist.
This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've learned throughout this process going forward. I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful, especially after he hinted he might help me behind the scenes. It felt like he wanted to receive credit from the public for helping me without providing any. As to the GoFundMe money, to the extent there are any remaining funds after I pay my attorney's fees, I have agreed to pay the remaining funds to the Kleins. The funds will not go to anyone else, including Denham's or Frogan, to defend their lawsuits.
That was another thing I wanted to say about Kat Tenbarge is I never saw her speak about this lawsuit anywhere to anyone in any public space, which she could easily, like, she would have been more than within her rights to do that. She never asked anyone for money. And obviously, I don't know what happened over in Brooklyn, but we don't know whether she even had legal representation sorted out. We know that the serving process was very dramatic. I actually meant to show that on the docket. There was a whole thing about 24-hour stakeouts. So yeah, she did have this guy Aaron Gladstone representing her, but then when it got transferred to Brooklyn, because there was a transfer order, and then we don't know what happened after that. So, but yeah, I just think, you know, Kat has acted with exceptional dignity the whole way through this, compared to these people like Ethan Klein and Alexa Nikolas. Anyway, that was the Ethan Klein apology video that person was referring to in the comments. So then, yeah, he has forced at least one of his victims to apologize to him and to his settlement. I mean, that girl 100% looks like she's like expressionless. She's clearly reading that. It looks very much like a prepared statement. It looks like she's been forced to say it. It's like the Kat Tenbarge one. It just doesn't add up with the person that we know they're talking about. That's very disappointing to hear that she's attacking people he's been publicly harassing. Like, cool, he gave you a platform, but supposedly that's his job. If his podcast is about keeping up with current events, it's giving the only truth is my truth. Seriously. Why does Ethan Klein hate Kat Tenbarge? Well, it's heavily implied that he is one of the YouTube personalities mentioned in this article she wrote about Justin Roiland. There's also the fact that a lot of people, this is 49 minutes ago, there's also the fact that a lot of people in Alexa's audience were trying to get her to address a lot of Ethan's problematic actions. Like, I remember posts about Ethan supporting abusers, right? That's what I just said. Awful people being made on Eat Predators to get Alexa's attention, since she does check out the sub often. But I'm not sure if she did. Someone else said, I only knew about Alexa and she's had a bit of a messy history. She clearly went through some awful things as both a child and an adult, but also she's also done things like hand-wave Drake Bell's history of abusive behavior once it came out that he was essayed as a child, because in her mind he's a victim, so he couldn't understand how what he as an adult was doing was wrong, because the same thing happened to him as a child. We're going to get onto that, which was especially hypocritical because she'd done a video about Bell as an abuser. I just want to get rid of some of these tabs so I don't lose my place anywhere. I mean, so I don't forget to show you anything. Okay. Although she deleted it once the Quiet on Set documentary came out. I don't know who any of these people are, by the way. I haven't verified them. All I know is that I've done hours of analyzing who she is as a person, the stuff that she has alleged about other people. And there's just the lawsuits, the things that she's sued people for. There's never been any grounds for the accusations. In my opinion, there is no evidence for the things that she accuses people of. But, you know, you can go and verify it for yourself. I'm still allowed to read what other people are saying. She deleted it once the Quiet on Set documentary came out. So what is interesting is when I was looking at her, when I was doing my research about her, yeah, because trust me, I didn't really know who this person was until the summer of 2024. I sort of vaguely heard of her. She was being promoted as the sort of spokesperson for that documentary. And according to Katie, because I think Katie was kind of following it, Katie Online Bullshit, she said Alexa kept saying she was going to reveal something that happened to her on the set of Nickelodeon, of the Nickelodeon show that she was on called Zoe 101. What she revealed was that she was bullied by Britney Spears' sister, which was convenient because at the time the Free Britney movement was going on. And so, of course, she became allies with the Free Britney movement because they all hated Britney Spears' sister. But that wasn't anything about CSA. She repeatedly went after fellow former child star Christy Carlson Romano for having Corey Feldman on her podcast and not acknowledging that Feldman had abuse charges against him like Belle, but had also been SA'd as a child like Belle. So basically, Belle SA'd as a child, therefore cannot be held accountable for own abusive behavior as an adult. Feldman, SA'd as a child, still must be held accountable for his abusive behavior as an adult, and anyone who platforms him is wrong. There was also the time she went after YouTuber Adam McIntyre for making a video about her and her organization and basically claimed he only had a career because he milked the fact that Colleen Ballinger, another one I had never heard of, Miranda Sings, was sexually inappropriate to him when he was a minor. So apparently she was getting him to do different tasks for him in promoting her channel, and she sent him some underwear. That's what I understand. And it was a bit an inappropriate relationship between an adult and a child. I mean, if you're an adult and you're running a YouTube channel, you should not be getting kids to promote your channel for you, unpaid as well. She sadly reminds me a bit of Rose McGowan. How? She doesn't remind me of Rose McGowan, in that while she was one of the first people to call out the awful things happening behind the scenes at Nickelodeon, she's used that status to position herself as the arbiter of who gets to call themselves a victim. Oh, we've got a cat hater. I'm particularly interested in the parts where Cat apologizes for asking questions about Alexa's stalker. I can understand why Alexa may refuse, but as a journalist, I feel like Cat should be allowed to ask questions. Right? Like, she alleges that this person is a stalker. She has managed to obtain a restraining order against them. Okay, do you know how many YouTube channels do that to people? It doesn't mean really that much. Lima Yevramovich did it to BJ Investigates. Oh, she tried to, sorry. She doesn't have a child, so maybe that's why she didn't succeed. But I think Brian Kukar did. And he's not even a YouTuber. He's just a Free Britney fan. This tickles me because in my personal experience with Katie or Cat? Oh yeah, Katie, Cat Tenbarge. She is very invested in drama mongering and has been involved in stalking cases before. I guess she never learns. I would say she does journalism about allegations on YouTube, but I don't think she's invested in drama mongering. I don't think that is fair. As I said, she has not said one word in the whole year since this lawsuit was dropped on her, which must have been incredibly stressful. That makes sense. Questions should be respectful and relevant. Kat's journalistic integrity was dubious before, but this is a real mess. Okay, but Alexa Nikolas still isn't a good person. She still asked Adam McIntyre who he was before calling Ballinger. I mean, look, a normal person doesn't ask anyone who they are. This is YouTube. You can literally be anyone. Comment has been removed. Yikes. Alexa Nikolas is going to become even more unbearable after this. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, really, is this a win? Is this a win for her? Because I don't really think it's going to work if she's got to literally do this to anyone. Because this is going to happen again. Like, if it's not Kat Tenbarge, it will be someone else. Same lawyer as Ethan Klein, so she followed the same playbook as him. Use your wealth to bully people into apologising. That part. Into submission. I guess YouTubers have learned from millionaires and billionaires that you can just abuse the courts to silence people with less money if they're saying things you don't like. I don't see any lies told. And it's ironic as well because didn't Ethan Klein... I can't remember now. Did he sue someone or did he get sued? I forget. I've been following this for a long time, and it feels interesting that this whole crew did a ton of coverage on the lively Baldoni trial that also ended not with a bang but with a whimper. I can't imagine. Yeah, let's not forget that Alexa Nikolas was Team Justin, as I showed in that tweet by the Crow account, up until literally the end of last year. So that was over a year. I've got some more bits to show you as well. I can't imagine that Kat had much liquid cash to undertake this, but I'm not sure of Alexa's situation either. To anyone who wonders if this was mandated in the settlement, the apology for simply asking about Alexa's stalker's allegations and causing discomfort sticks out like a sore thumb among her basically taking responsibility for libel. Wild to see Okie Dokie and the Hollywood Reporter too, lol. Oof, bad week for Matt Bernstein's friend. I don't know who that is. Oh, I think I do. I think he's another content creator that's friends with Taylor Lawrence. Taylor and Kat have always been a little messy. YouTube is messy. That's what we're here for. What the F? I do dislike their enemies far more. But for journalists, whether they be reporting on internet, celebrity or otherwise, their conduct isn't always the most professional. I remember Kat was partying with... Oh my God. Okay, I can debunk this. I remember Kat was partying with Adam McIntyre when he was under 21 and he visited the US. UK drinking ages are different, obviously, but to do that here is not only a bit odd, in my opinion, but puzzling behaviour for someone who was a reporter with one of their subjects. I'm sorry, turning T74, but how frigging old are you? Like, these are kids in their 20s, yeah? He was 18. The legal drinking age in the UK is 18. Like, trust me, most people in the UK have had a drink before they're 18. And also, like, Alexa Nikolas has tried to make it seem like her relationship, Kat Tenbarge's relationship with Adam McIntyre, is really inappropriate because she's so much older than him. Well, I think Adam McIntyre is in his early 20s and Kat Tenbarge has literally just turned 29. So she's still in her 20s. So there's not even a 10-year age difference between them. Like, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I just think she wants to make it into a big deal to suit her narrative. And it was actually her friend Sloane who was the one that gave Adam McIntyre an ID card to use so that he could get drinks. And Alexa Nikolas falsely accused Kat Tenbarge in the lawsuit. It's so pathetic of being the one to give him a false ID so he could drink. It was just, I don't know. It was the definition of using the legal system to bully someone. There you go. Adam said that it wasn't Kat, but Sloane who partied with him and got him into an over 21s club. I think it was like some party to do with Free Britney, to be honest. But yeah, the legal age to get into clubs, I think, is 21 in LA. So I think it might have been that. What else happened? But, hello, people are young. People do stupid stuff like that. You don't need to sue them for it. Taylor Lawrence. Oh, I can't be bothered. Taylor Lawrence, honestly. She actually gets on my nerves, so I'm not even getting into her. I'm sorry. What I'm getting from this is she made a false claim on a public forum in September 2024. Instead of immediately following up, apologizing publicly after the claim was proven false, it took almost 2 years for her to retract her statements and apologize only after a lawsuit was filed, then hide the apology further back in a series of tweets instead of it being the first tweet with the explanation afterward. Feels like a non-apology to me. Well, yeah, she's obviously not sorry. This was clearly made as part of a settlement. I think we can all agree she was literally told to say that. Up there with Casey Tron's apology, enforced as part of the settlement in the case against her to Ethan and Healer Klein that sounded like she was reading it at gunpoint. I mean, yeah, the poor girl looked like she was going to cry. Someone commented they have the same lawyers, and H3 has platformed her while she has defended him. I don't think that the journalist tried to hide anything. I think that this is exactly what she was asked to post by the lawyers. And then almost immediately went into her son's Twitch chat to indirectly show what she had to say in that apology was bullshit, lol. Who went into her son's chat? Been a wild week for avid listeners of the A Bit Fruity podcast. Alexa Nikolas is still a mess, and I wish her the best. Life offline and away from any kind of platform. Kat's case must have been non-existent. This is a very telling statement. Or she doesn't have the money to continue fighting this in court, as was the case with Casey Tron and H3. For sure, Kat's independent. I don't know if there would have been a settlement for the defamation case if she was still at NBC News and had their lawyers. I'm sure if she had been at NBC News, she would have been a lot more protected. Sorry, I'm ignoring the live chat. Okay, you joined at the wrong time. I know, it's the evening for me here. My stream was glitching, yeah. Thank you, Aaliyah Michelle. Shamed of your legal system. Look, I'm telling you, ours isn't much better. The reason why someone commented earlier, why is an Australian person reading about an American defamation case? First of all, like, what? I'm not allowed to be interested in it? we don't really have so much transparency when it comes to court documents in the UK. So most of what happens in court in the UK goes on behind closed doors. But I'm telling you, it's not any better over here. There's a lot of bullshit going on in the legal system right now, where people are being accused of terrorism for just going to protests and stuff. He did not force anyone. Who did not force anyone? Clearly forced to say untrue things to avoid financial abuse, right? I mean, look how long the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni suit lasted for. It hadn't even started, and it was like over a year. It was a year and a half of discovery and then withholding evidence, and no one can afford to pay for that. No one. Abusers have more power in the American legal system than victims by far, historically and currently. Yeah, and I'm going to show you, once I finish this post, I'm going to show you another post that is really interesting because it's completely independent. I'm talking about the Drake Bell thing. It's on a completely different forum. What an awful medium for an apology. Okay, that's that. So those are the comments on Faux Moi, yeah? So that's obviously has 1.8 million weekly visitors, cultural zeitgeist archivists. Obviously, that's not on either side. I was going to say unbiased, but you know what I mean. Okay. So I just want to show you quickly a couple more things. Thank you so much for joining, by the way. Makes me feel people are definitely interested in this. It's not just me. Okay, so this is on another forum that I look at quite a lot called Leaving Neverland HBO. So this is obviously about the Michael Jackson victim documentary. And very interestingly, if this is your first time watching, Brian Friedman, who represents the Michael Jackson estate, Alexa Nikolas is currently suing him for defamation in another case, which is still going on. And she's been called for a sanctions meeting by the judge in that case because she's accusing people again of things that are not true. She's saying in that lawsuit that Brian Friedman started a smear campaign against her in 2022 with a website and social media accounts. Okay, so this is by someone I have no idea who it is. They're called Masterpiece Timely 144, yeah? This was one day ago. I just happened to see it. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so it says Drake Bell's victim deserves so much better than what happened to her. This is a completely independent opinion. In 2024, Quiet on Set premiered and discussed the shady shit going on at Nickelodeon, including the actor Drake Bell was SA'd by one of the people working on the set, Brian Peck. He detailed the grooming process and the abuse that occurred over several years. To be very, very clear, obviously, I have sympathy for the child Drake who was harmed in this way because he did not deserve that. Brian went to jail for only 6 months. And I believe the only reason he did, I mean, 6 months is crazy for CSA. I believe the only reason he did is because he admitted to what happened. Though he victim blamed Drake and made it seem like I thought he was 18. No, the F he didn't. Even when Drake Bell was 18, he had a baby face. He looked even more like a tiny baby when Brian met him at the age of 12. Quiet on Set broke. A lot of people, so many people, felt so horrible about what happened to Drake Bell. But then some people remembered that a few years prior Drake was actually in trouble with the law regarding a similar crime. In 2021, Drake Bell had a court case involving a 19-year-old girl called Jane Doe. So Jane Doe is just a name given to an anonymous plaintiff. This court case was over Zoom because it was during the height of COVID precautions. So I've seen this bit of the case where he's been charged and sentenced. Anyone can watch it. It's still up. She spoke clearly and calmly about what happened to her and how it affected her. He made faces the entire time, dismissing and demeaning the words of his victim. The story that he had the world believing was that she was a fan who reached out to him to ask him for advice, and he was nice to her, and somehow he didn't know her age when he started sending sexually charged text messages. He also sent explicit photos to her and asked for photos from her as well. The truth is that he knew her since she was 11 years old. So I think that TV show that he was in, was for kids. So, in this age of social media, he became close with her. He became close with her aunt, and she did sometimes text him about boys and ask for advice. When she started getting older is when he started saying sexual things to her, saying how much she's grown. They would see each other again, and he would force her to perform acts on him, and he would perform stuff on her. The hate that she got in 2021 was bad enough. Droves of people trying to prove she was a liar and calling her horrific names. But in 2024, when the case started to get more attention because of Quiet on Set, it got worse. People combed over photos and texts and tried to prove once again she was lying. Victim shaming, this is. Victim blaming. In 2024, I was in a bad place mentally. I was dealing with coming to terms with my own abuse. It's not an excuse at all, but I fell for Drake's propaganda. And I was one of the people who said Jane Doe was lying, and I tried to prove that. Eventually, though, it became impossible to ignore all the red flags, and then, when I finally read more about the story without the misleading information from Drake and his fans, I realized he was guilty and that he was discrediting his victim. He seemed to think that because he wasn't brutally abusing her, like Brian was to him, that his crimes weren't just as horrific, but they were. Here is her victim impact statement. She's 19 in this clip, so she's put a link to the impact statement if you want to read it. Then she says, Alexa Nikolas, another Nickelodeon child actor, went to great lengths to justify her defense of Drake Bell after Quiet on Set, when before she spoke about the shit he did with his victim. She actually doxed the victim on her live stream, revealing her full name and more of her information. This is someone completely random saying this. Jane Doe deserves so much better than the shit she got put through. She was a child who was failed by everyone around her and harmed by a piece of ish predator. Okay? So is she going to come and sue this person now? I mean, it's just like, what? I'm sorry, all of these people kind of got the wrong end of the stick. Okay, so before I go, I was just going to quickly... So I went over to see what Okie Dokie was saying. because she's mentioned in the tweets, which is crazy. Like, she's literally saying Okie dokie needs to delete her videos. Well, I don't think she has. I mean, this is just all these people are talking about different aspects of different stories as well. But really, I think what wasn't mentioned in that last post is that Alexa Nikolas was spotted with Drake Bell at a concert. And that was really what kind of exposed her, because she had acted like she was against this person, that she was like, she's supposed to be an advocate for survivors. Power to survivors is her motto. Yeah. So if you're an advocate for survivors, why are you hanging out with someone who's literally just been charged with child endangerment? And then after that happened, that was when she had to backtrack. And even if you take Kat Tenbarge's apology on board and go, okay, then it still doesn't make sense of why she would do that. Right, so I was just going to show, lastly,
every year I dream of summer. That's until the heat.
This video she made, so most of those videos were from 2 years ago. This one was from 1 year ago, and it said, so it was February 2025, and it said, wait, this might not actually be the one I was going to show. Sorry, this is a different one. This one says, Alexa finally admitted she hired Andrew Brettler to represent her vanity project. Right, so that was another that was another very toxic attorney she hired, who's represented like some real actual rapists. It's just literally, again, you can't whitewash that, Alexa. Okay, which one was it now? I'm sure it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. Okay. Sorry about the adverts. They're a bit excessive.
The words feminist and lesbian set off a paranoid reading in some people, and that explains a good chunk of the things I get criticized.
Right, let me skip to the bit where she's... So Alexa Nikolas, in this video, she's talking about Alexa Nikolas comes into her comments, yeah?
Every year I dream of summer.
God.
That's until...
Crazy. I just watched 2 adverts.
Read in sequential order here. Apology activism? You are so lame. Legit lame. You haven't done any
You just back up a little bit. Okay.
myself.
Every year I dream of summer.
God,
That's
this
until...
is just a joke. Sorry. This is abuse. I am never, ever, ever, ever in my life going to use Head and Shoulders. Doesn't matter how many times you show it to me. Or whatever this rubbish is. Oh, very liquid.
that she has. And even though me making a complaint about my employment discrimination on the grounds of my disability was a personal action and not like a political activist one. Anyway, the replies that she left me read in sequential order here. Apology activism? You are so lame. Legit lame. You haven't done any activism. IMO. Have you filed your court doc yet? Nope. Is it past due? For one, it's not past due. It was dismissed without prejudice because I was attempting to file pro se. We will get into it. For two, notice how she's gonna call me a bully, but she comes in hot calling me names. Lame. Legit lame. Which, like, who even calls someone that? Like, it is just so juvenile. Again, you'll see why I did not rush to make an update video about this. There's not a ton here.
It's like the person that just came in and said that I'm talking too slow. It's like over 10 years ago when people used to leave comments like that about other content I used to put out, that used to really hurt my feelings. It does not anymore. Because it shows who they are.
You bullying child star survivors is so pick me and gross. I'm not a non-profit, but you are a YouTuber wannabe on your bed, and I don't like it. IMO, smiley face. Stop reading a teleprompter like a lame boomer. Am I giving you content per usual? Flying money emoji. Also, I guess she'll be happy that since I set up the pop filter, I'm not sitting on my bed anymore. Happy to improve things to your liking, Alexa. I don't think it counts as a wannabe when I've been doing this pretty consistently for upwards of a year. Like, I'm not arguing that I'm Mr. Beast or anything, but like I am certainly a YouTuber, and I do not read from a teleprompter. I read from a script because I script my content because I respect my audience's time. I'm mentioning again.
I just want to say, yeah, like literally anyone can be a YouTuber. I'm not a bit funny, but the bar is really low. You basically just need a camera, which pretty much is installed on your phone, and possibly a microphone and a ring light. But yeah, whatever.
The timing of this. These comments all came through to me on a video that I had uploaded months ago. This is on the one that mentions the NDA talk in the title. This came to me on video that I had uploaded months ago, and Alexa just so happened to remember my existence at the same time as, again, many of Kirsty Flaw's fans would have been finding the Snark Reddit and posting in it. Just, it's not very subtle about what might have reminded her about me, right?
So yeah, it's just another reminder that those people over at It Ends With Courts who think that by backing Alexa Nikolas's lawsuit against Brian Friedman, they're doing something good. Alexa was team Justin Baldoni while this was going on. She joined in the pylon against Okie Dokie because Okie Dokie was calling out Kirsty Flaw. She calls her Kirsty, but it's pronounced Kirsty. If you're, what is she, Swedish or Norwegian? I forget.
You are a bully. I'm not jealous. It seems like you are right. Tell everyone how much you made off of child stars. Show your YouTube studio. And again, that court filing, ... Go and make content off my post, you bully. Hashtag Team Justin BTW, which she also posted about on her Instagram story. But to be honest, I don't care enough right now to go and dig those up and show them to you. I don't care. And the next one, when you talk about me again, look straight on and come with real receipts.
Every year, I dream of summer. That's until the heat hits and my scalp goes full-on drama queen. So now I only...
Deciding who the victim is total perversion of reality. I mean, I have found it really uncomfortable analysing Alexa Nikolas's lawsuits and finding out that she doesn't have any evidence against the people she accuses of certain things. But really, that's kind of a fair bar, especially if this person is known for collecting a lot of evidence, you know, at that exact time that she says these things were happening. Just catching up on your comments. You don't know much about EK, but you haven't learned anything like it. I mean, literally, I don't understand it. I don't understand why or how he got so popular, honestly. This is my serious, honest opinion. But he is. I mean, even this week, there's like so many people talking about he's threatened to sue another person, that guy called iDubbbz, because he literally posted a live chat comment like, I'm doing right now. I better take it off. For too long. It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. These people are acting like fascists. It's insane. I feel so bad for Kat. I do. This should not be happening. I'm sorry to hear that you're a survivor of institutional abuse and brainwashing. You're angry the person is propping themselves up as an advocate for survivors while victimizing people like predators. I can't read the last word, but yeah, I mean, that's the point. It's like, you can't say that you're a community for survivors, that you're doing any good for them, if you're literally going to be doing victim blaming and hanging out with predators, like actual convicted predators of sorry, I just saw of CSA, you know, it's just beyond belief. This is the thing with Alexa Nikolas. Yeah, she's done it to herself. Like, this is who she is. It doesn't matter whether Kat Tenbarge says it or someone else on Reddit. Like, anyone using their actual brain that switches off from her will see this for themselves. You know, if they want to go and hand over their money to be close to her, that's on them, fine. But she ain't no advocate for survivors of abuse, in many people's opinion. Oh, now we've lost her voice.
My right to sue window has closed. I guess she doesn't know or doesn't care that was because it is extremely hard to find a lawyer who will represent somebody who was still in poverty even when they had a job, and who has no means to pay ahead of time for representation with. I feel no need.
So it's just really weird because Alexa brought up, I'm not going to rewind it because it will probably play another advert. But yeah, so Alexa brought up in the comment the fact that Okie Dokie had, like, I can't think of the word, not sued her work, but she had an ongoing legal situation with her work. Probably because they treated her unfairly, because most workplaces do, and she has a disability. So Alexa had somehow got hold of that information that she hadn't refiled within the time window and was bringing it up in a comment, which is just completely crazy again.
Desire or inclination to share my YouTube studio at the request of Alexa Nikolas, who has been letting her Patreon run just completely without any content for months. I don't think that I owe her that at all. For income transparency, though, I made less than $6,000 on YouTube last year, and not all of it came from videos about former child stars. And also, former child stars are not a protected class. My videos were not exploitative. I don't feel bad about the fact that part of my income came from making videos about former child stars. I just reject whatever she's trying to lay on me here. Even if my claim against my former employer was less successful than it was, which we will get to, I would not think that this is a point of hypocrisy on my part, or whatever Alexa is intending to imply in her comments, especially not when, you know, there are court documents pertaining to Alexa Nikolas that I very intentionally have not read from in any of my coverage of her and do not intend on covering, even when I spoke about how fucking hypocritical she was to publicize the drive. Like, I just have to point that out, For the sake of you who are here from remembering how terrible it was last year when Alexa Nikolas published the drive of evidence that led to the child endangerment charge her buddy Drake Bell pled guilty to in Ohio, she is once again attempting to leverage someone's court documents, but this time it's my own. And it's as if I'm being caught, even though my position has always been maybe documents shouldn't be publicized to prove a point because you love Drake Bell for some reason. I'm willing to talk, though, about what's in that court documents. Do you know what's in them? I'm asking you, the viewer. I'm not talking to Alexa because she never watches the full thing when she comes to yell at me in my comment section or post about me on her Instagram stories while very conspicuously not using my real screen name so that nobody who wants to defend her will go watch my videos and realize how much exactly they need to defend against. Here's why I still consider all the trouble it took to file that EEOC complaint successful. Here's what else is in those court documents, other than the fact that my attempt at filing pro se as somebody without a law degree or high school diploma, we'll get back to it, and no legal representation, is that the EEOC, so the people who investigate claims of workplace discrimination, found in my fucking favor. Hence, the right to sue. Not only a right to sue, but also a notice of probable cause. Basically, the contract center that I used to work for was discriminating against me because I am disabled and they should have allowed me to have absences with doctor's notes and accommodations. And they refused to do reasonable accommodations for me even when I had what the EEOC inspector told me was a beautifully thorough record of over a year worth of me begging them to accommodate me on account of how much I loved my job and cared about the work I was doing. My disability was worsening, and I was begging for either grace on their absence policy or the chance to make up the hours I had to miss by being asleep during the day, by clocking in and working at night, since we were constantly behind on cases anyway. They opted instead to wait until I ran out of PFML time for my intermittent leave and fire me. So I filed a complaint with the EEOC, and the EEOC determined that there was in fact probable cause, that was discrimination on nations. And you know what? Sure, I've read other people's legal documents before. Let me read what the person who actually knew what they were doing when they wrote something wrote, because they didn't like my pro se petition. But here is what the EEOC investigator wrote in the charge of discrimination that I got, because I did in fact pull.
It's so bad that she had to go through this just because of Alexa Nikolas calling her out in a comment.
Off a win in this.
Every year, I dream of summer. That's until the...
I don't know how many times I'm supposed to watch this. Even when I was getting it ready, I had to watch the adverts. Oh. Yeah, this woman is called Ofi. Her name's Ofi Doki. I used to watch her channel, but I kind of went off it a little bit. But I do remember this time when she was doing these deep dives into Alexa Nikolas. But yeah, I agree. She's a vulnerable person who has nothing. Like, I mean, you know, this is why I try and protect my space just doing this stupid little channel. Like, people really, when they strongly disagree with what you're saying or what you're trying to say, they just go on the offensive. Like, seriously, I get people shouting at me in comments who have never been on my channel before. They call me bro a lot because I don't think they've even watched the video sometimes. They just go into the comments. And yeah, so that's why I don't really have any other accounts associated with this channel, because I just literally don't want people like attacking me for no reason because they can't stand to hear a different opinion to them. But unfortunately, that's how some people act. She literally criticized a disabled person for posting from bed. Now, exactly how ableist is that? I know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, all we're doing is pointing out what she does, because I don't know why she's drawn in. Because once you start getting an audience and once you start like riding onto the algorithm, these people's videos start showing up in your life every day, and before you know it, you've clicked on a video to see what it is, and then they just don't leave you alone. And I think that's how you get sucked into watching them, and then you start understanding that they're all connected to each other, which is why I did my people web, which joins them up, which joins up the content creators, it joins up the PR companies, and it joins up the lawyers, and it joins up the celebrities. So you all know what I'm talking about, because I'm not crazy. California people called everyone bro. Okay, yeah, I know, I do it as well, but I just feel like they genuinely think I'm a man, because they just assume that because they're a man and it's a video about Michael Jackson that that it must be a man that made it. But I don't know that for sure. It's just I just get that feeling with some of them, because honestly, they are so dumb, some of those Michael Jackson comment people. Right, let's just let Ophi finish, and then
covered a disability under the ADA and has provided reasonable medical information to the respondent as recent as March 16th, 20.
She's basically proven Alexa wrong. But I think it's good to show this again, because I noticed afterwards there were kind of like rumors in comments where people were saying, oh, did Alexa Nikolas threaten to sue Okie Dokie? I mean, this was very kind of indirect threatening behavior. And like she said, she posts things on her Instagram and then uses like nicknames she's made up for people between her and her audience to do it a sort of like, again, indirect, underhand, snaky way. It's still a form of bullying.
2023 that noted Charging Party has a physical or mental impairment that affected major bodily functions, including concentration, interacting with others, reading, speaking, thinking, and working. The medical note specifically said that Charging Party could use, as a reasonable accommodation, a part-time or hybrid schedule. This was denied by the respondent. Respondent said it would be an undue hardship to accommodate Charging Party by eliminating a time and attendance requirement. But there is no evidence to support this claim, or that providing Charging Party with a part-time or hybrid schedule would impose an undue hardship under the statute. Respondent did not offer Charging Party any other reasonable and effective accommodations that includes considering her for a reassignment as an accommodation of last resort, as required under the ADA. On March 21st, 2023, with knowledge that Charging Party has a covered disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act and a need for a flexible schedule, respondent told Charging Party that any unplanned absences will be subject to respondent's attendance policy. In the absence of an undue hardship, and without a reasonable and effective accommodation, holding an individual with a covered disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act to an inflexible/fixed leave policy violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. Based on the above, respondents' asserted defense does not withstand scrutiny, and the Commission has determined that there is reasonable cause to believe that the respondent has discriminated against Charging Party on account of her disability in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This determination is final. And then it says that the ADA requires that if the Commission determines that there is reasonable cause to believe that violations have occurred, it shall endeavor to eliminate the alleged unlawful employment practices by informal methods of conference, conciliation, and persuasion. Having determined that there is reason to believe that violations have occurred, isn't that such a beautiful string of words? Doesn't that mean I fucking won? Because I did. I won this investigation portion. I didn't get to bring it to court. They didn't agree to the mediation because they knew. But it means I fucking won. That's what that means that I just read. I don't know if Alexa read it for herself or if she just assumed that there being a court document meant that there would be something I was ashamed of in there, but the court document says I won.
Probably because there's a lot to be ashamed of in her court document. But this is why you have to take your time reading these things, because otherwise you cannot make an informed decision on understanding what is being talked about. Once these things are out in the open and the dockets are public, obviously I only use a public docket then I think it's a good idea to read through the documents, because otherwise you're going to be influenced by someone else's interpretation of it. But it takes time, and that's what I've been trying to say. If Alexa actually took the damn time, if she actually sat down and did some research and used, the audience and the Patreon subscribers she has, she could probably make something out of it. But she just chooses not to. She chooses to do this instead. It's just very transparent.
Working hard for
Right.
cleaner, dear?
I think I'm going to leave it because I can't paste any more adverts. But I think you get the message. Oh, no, I'm not going to show that. So if you wanted to read more about the Drake Bell case, that last post that I showed you, there's actually a lot of comments about it, comparing it to obviously the Michael Jackson situation, because we know that obviously a lot of propaganda goes on there, and a lot of victim blaming and shaming, and it's very, very similar. And so it's interesting that that person posted it on the HBO Leaving Neverland documentary Reddit page. So obviously that is the message that shows that he asked the girl how old she was, and she said 15. That Drake Bell was saying something about Arnie Hammer. Most people don't see him as a predator. I think he also had a Discord server where he was doing inappropriate things. So really, there's, so much to show who he was as a person, and that is who she chose to hang out with, and that's which hill she chose to die on, and is apparently still choosing. So yeah, I just want to say solidarity to Kat Tenbarge. I'm really sorry you had to do that. Obviously I don't agree with everything Kat Tenbarge says, but that's the whole point. It's like, just because someone says something online doesn't mean you have to agree with what they're saying, Last comment. It's very generous to assume this isn't intentional on her part, in your opinion. I don't know who you were talking about then. But yeah, I think we're all being very generous compared to how she behaves. So let's just leave it as that. Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely message to end on. Thank you very much to everyone for joining. All love and protection to Kat. What a dark moment. Yeah, I really agree. And it's just so mad to think that now we're looking at Brian Friedman to see if he can actually bring some comeuppance to Alexa Nikolas in all this. I mean, who would have predicted this? But, those are the dice she has thrown for herself. So we will just have to see what happens next in this crazy saga. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Actually, I did find something. When she said about the Patreon, not being a scam. Well, I found a GoFundMe of by her current husband. Okay. So when Alexa Nikolas was getting divorced, she went and made this film called Metanoia. Let me see if I can quickly bring it up. Why not? Because I don't want to talk about her again for a long time. I need an Alexa Nikolas break. Metanoia. Was called Metanoia, wasn't it? Oh my God. Of course I can't find it at the last minute. It's just another thing that adds to the bigger picture of what's going on here. And I hadn't seen anyone else. I hadn't seen anyone else bring it up. Metanoia. Oh, yeah, that's right. Teaser. It's not coming up in the search results. There's a lot of things called metanoia. Oh, there it is. Okay. Better not play it because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So this is her current husband, yeah, Michael Gray. So this was in December 2017. So I'm not sure if she was getting divorced then or still married, but she made this film with her current husband, Michael Gray, yeah. And according to the court records, her ex-husband Milos was still financially supporting her up until 2019 or 2020, which was when she started writing stuff about him online, saying that he had groomed her. Just very coincidental. But yeah, so I thought it was very interesting because they did this teaser on YouTube, and you can see them together in it. And then they had this thing, look, fundraiser. 10% of proceeds are being donated to the Water Project. The Water Project is a charity providing water and sanitation solutions, one village at a time. So if you've watched any of my other videos about Mr. Beast or Michael Jackson, these projects that do water provision or sanitation in like countries where they have problems with it, with accessing it, they're like basically like investment funds. They're like venture capital startups. But you know, obviously he's doing a fundraiser for or saying they're going to give 10%. And look, project by Match the Source. So that's the name of her Instagram account. Now we are going to Danakai Depression, Ethiopia, the hottest place on earth. Things are about the first chapter was shot in Iceland, and it was by far one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. It went beyond what I could have ever expected. Now we're going to Ethiopia, the hottest place on earth. Things are about to go dark and beautiful. Thank you so much for making the project possible. It means the world to me. You have no idea. We flipped a bitch. Alexa Nikolas. This is the crew. And then there was a GoFundMe attached to this that I found, which had raised like, I think it was over $3,000. Like, I cannot believe this. Like, Let me see if I can find it. Just so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's getting really hot about again. Yeah, the GoFundMe actually has the here it is. Yeah. Yeah. Actually has the trailer on YouTube. 10% of proceeds are being donated to the water project. I don't know if anyone's checked if that went to the water project. And then it's like, last update was 12th June 2018. We are only 1,000 away from our goal. Only 10 days left to donate. Any amount will help. Sending all of our love and gratitude to the donors and people who have supported us along the way. $3,000 raised. 100%. Okay, so they got their full. They reached their goal, is what I'm trying to say. Look, $500, $500, 250, 100, 100. Pretty good. I just thought it was really interesting. Okay, I'm going to leave it. You haven't watched my MJ videos? Oh, you should, because I'm covering the Casio case against the Michael Jackson estate, which is also involving Brian Friedman, and that is really interesting. It's like a gangster movie. Brian Friedman said that he was made to go and meet Frank Casio, who used to work for Michael Jackson, at a hotel in West Hollywood in his swimwear, so he wasn't wearing a wire. But at the moment, they've had an arbitration hearing because basically Brian Friedman, the estate side, and also like another thing I've gone over in depth is the attorneys that represent the Michael Jackson estate have represented so many abusive men. Speaking of male pedophiles, oh my God, you have to watch it. And also they use the same PR company. So I was going to make another one about one of the Michael Jackson PR companies who also represented R. Kelly. This is the kind of stuff I dig up. But yeah, so they've had this hearing and we're waiting to see whether it's going to go to arbitration or not, because obviously the Michael Jackson side want it to go to arbitration so that the allegations of Michael Jackson abusing them, all of the children, doesn't get any more eyes on it, because people in the comments, the people that are calling me bro, they're so confused. They don't understand that this Casio case, they never accused Michael Jackson of molesting them publicly. This was all happening behind the scenes, and the Michael Jackson estate tried to pay them off so they wouldn't be able to talk about it publicly. Only the money was running out, and they said they were going to get them justice. They said that I think basically the Michael Jackson estate didn't want them going anywhere near the guy who made Leaving Neverland, because they were very triggered by watching that documentary. So they locked them down into this contract financially so that they wouldn't be able to speak to anyone. And they're not happy about it. So that's how it's all leaked out. So the people in the comments are very confused, thinking that these people want money, because that's not how it went down at all, if you actually read the documents. Right, I'm definitely going now. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for joining, Aaliyah, and all of you take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.